all for joining me again today on another exciting topic. Today we are going to discuss about a very good sensitive topic that generalizes what we stand for in our core values as Igbo people and in our core value to rebuild our community and to set the record straight. Listen to me. I am not here to talk down on any church. Neither am I here to talk down on any traditional way of life and also our own way that we Igbo people have designed our life to live, like Onye Ayana Wanneya policy and Igbo boy and Igbo under the level of Akajaja Nebute Onomonomano. Have we replaced those values with the things of the church? And have we replaced those values like with the one that Jesus taught us, the man Jesus the carpenter? Have we replaced Jesus the carpenter to the Jesus of the big cathedral? And have we replaced our Omenana way of life of the Igbo ways of Onye Agana Wanneya policy down to the level of big man, me and my family alone? So as you're about to watch this video, please don't forget to subscribe, like our video, and also we are here to bring you another exciting topic on the title, The Great Spiritual Thief. The Great Spiritual Thief. Family, let's listen today. Today we touch the untouchable. We are pulling down the curtains of the most profitable industry in our land. We are asking the question that makes the big men tremble in their designer's shoe. Is the prosperity gospel the greatest threat to the Igbo souls? For decades, we have watched the skyline of our cities filled with staple while the street filled with poverty. We see the private jet taking off while the local clinics run out of bandages. We were told this is favor. I am here to suggest, is this a spiritual haste? Today we dive deep into how the pursuit of the almighty Naira is erasing the value that actually makes us the giant of Africa. Chapter 1. The death of Onye Ayana Wanneya. Let's look at the first twist. The destruction of our land communal DNA. The Igbo man was never an island. Our ancestors survived because of the Omonna. We built our communities through Igbo boy and an entrepreneurship system built on trust, peace, patience, and lifting of others. But look at what the prosperity gospel has done. It has replaced the colonialism and the individualism. It tells you that your success is a sign of your higher value of faith. By extension, it implies your struggling brother is spiritually cursed. We have gone from I am because we are to I am because I sow a bigger seed than you. We are losing our brotherhood to a theology that rewards selfishness and label poverty as a sin. Chapter 2. The seed and the philosophy of the scam. Here it is today, our people. This is something that will make you angry. Is the modern seed just a spiritualized Ponzi system? Think about the mechanism. We are told to give until it hurts to trigger a miracle. If the miracle happens, the pastor gets the credit. If the miracle doesn't happen, you get the blame. They tell you your faith was weak or your seed was too small. It is a perfect closed door loop scam. We have replaced the dignity of labor, the hard working of Igbo spiritual life with a gambler spirit. We have youth now who could rather spend 7 days in a prayer camp commanding wealth than 7 days learning a trade. We are praying for harvest where we never planted any crops. Is this faith, or is it a spiritual shortcut that is making us lazy? Chapter 4. The sanctification of dirty money. This is a very big twist. So this part is what I want you all to pay attention to. Now let's go into the dark side of our social fabrics. Historically, if an Igbo man comes home with wealth that he couldn't explain, the community questioned him. The Ezendibo, the Ohaneze, the Omuada, the father of the man as the Eze Igbo aha ka ego, which is the question of ezigbo aha ka ego. A good name, it is better than good. But the prosperity gospel have flipped the script. Now, as long as you bring a large enough donation, the church will give you the front row. We are sanctifying corruptions. We are laying hands on the money that was stolen from the public fund, money from internet fraud, the money from the blood of the innocent. When the church stopped building the conscience of the people and started building a laundry service for questionable wealth, the entire moral compass of our culture breaks. We are teaching our children that how you get the money doesn't matter as long as you thank God for it at the end. This is what is happening very deep in our society. This one covers all. This one affects everybody. The ancestral fear factor, that is chapter 4. The most controversial twist is how this gospel uses our traditional fears against us. Many of these modern men of God operate exactly like the old school priests of the shrine, just with a Bible in their hand. Just use the fear of village people, generational curse, and household enemies to keep you dependent. They create the fear and they sell you the anointing oil. The anointing oil solution. It is a product, it's a protection racket. We claim to be born again, but we are still living in the same fear of the dark that our ancestors did, except now. We pay a tithe to a man in three pieces suit to keep the demons away. Are we truly free, or we have just changed our master? Chapter 5, the big man Jesus. We have rewritten the story of the carpenter from Nazareth. We have turned a man who had no place to lay his head into a CEO of multinational corporation. By making Jesus a prosperity king, we have made him unrecognizable to the poor. When a church becomes a club for the elite, where the poor feel ashamed to enter because their clothes aren't designers, the church has died. We are building cathedral of gold in a land of slum. We are celebrating the God of more while our neighbors have nothing. If the Igbo Christian valued humanity, if the Igbo Christian value of humanity is gone, what do we now have left? I know this was heavy, the call for action. Some of you are reaching for your keyboards to tell me I am touching the anointed, but I ask you, who is truly anointed? The man on the pulpit or the community that is being derailed? Is it time we return to the value of our fathers, hard work, communal support, and a name that cannot be bought? I want to see the comment explode. Tell me your story. Have you seen the prosperity gospel destroy a family? Have the prosperity gospel destroy a family? Have you seen it help? Let us unmark this truth together. Like I said, dive into the comment section. Share your own opinion. You know my stand. I am a Christian, and I will always stand for you to know God by yourself, so that you will know when this designers men in 3 pieces of suit starts deceiving you. That is all we have for today. Don't forget to subscribe. Drop your comment in the comment section. See you guys next time.